way through March, they're gonna.
Okay. Why don't you take a minute? I've been waiting to hear this big one here. This is the. What do you call that call?
This is the YDH-1 howler. This was the first big howler I made.
Yeah.
This is for serious howling right here.
And I call it the big
dog. Yep. So this has a removable mouthpiece. You can pull it out and stick it inside the barrel of the call when you're not using it. You can stick it in your pants pocket, your shirt pocket,
right.
Call bag. You're ready to use it. You just pull it out, and there you have a call of its own. Or you can use it as a distress call.
So when you buy the big one there, you're not just getting a big howler, you're getting
pretty much 3 calls.
Right.
You've got your small howler, you've got a distress call, and then when you really want to get out there, if you're trying to call in the alpha male.
Right. If you're maybe in a big wide open area, the wind's blowing pretty good, that would probably be
Alberta. We've used these quite a bit in Alberta on some trips I've been on. They're fantastic howlers. They get out there for 2 or 3 miles.
Right.
I'll do the same thing. I'll start with some higher pitch and work my way up, and you can hear what it does.
Well, that was the big guy.
Yeah, that's the big one there. You're not going to want to do that if you're wanting to call in the young of the year.
Now, for guys just starting out, say we're headed out right now, and you and I, this is our first time out trying to call some coyotes. Tell me what would be a good calling sequence. What would I start out with?
Generally, what I like to do, especially this time of year, of course, your setup, your approach to your setup's everything.
Right.
If you want to get in with the wind not blowing into the area where you expect coyotes to be, you got to keep it quiet, things like that. Once you get in and settled in, I like to start with a couple simple howls.
Okay.
I'm going to sit down, give it a few minutes, make sure, if anything was watching, maybe I forgot about what I was doing, and I'm just going to open up like this. Then I'll sit and wait for 5 minutes. Slowly
look around, slowly.
The coyotes are very good at picking up movement, so slow movements. Generally, you're not going to hear a coyote when it's going to come in. They're going to stay silent. They're going to sneak in to see the intruder.
Right.
So keep your eye along the edges. They're going to try to get downwind if you make it easy. So, just keep your eyes peeled. Sometimes they'll charge right out, bristle up, and there's nothing like the feeling of that,
I know what you're talking about. So you make a couple howls, sit back, scan the area for about 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes, and I repeat the same thing.
So 2 more howls.
Yep.
Okay.
Sometimes 3, but just the long lonesome, drawn out howls. You don't want to challenge them.
Right.
If a coyote does answer you back, then mimic what it does. So seems to get worked up and bring them in.
Whatever they're doing, you do right back at them.
Within your capabilities,
right.
Obviously, if you just picked up a howler 2 days beforehand, you're most likely not going to be challenging a coyote. But
okay.
do what you feel comfortable doing. If nothing's come in by, say, 10 minutes, then it's time to get under distress.
Just the old rabbit distress?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't even worry about sounding so much like an attacked animal. Sound like something in pain, put emotion into it, the coyotes will come.
Perfect.
So you've established that you're a coyote in their territory with your howls.
Okay. Now when you make a call, you pretty much make everything. What if I'm a guy that wants to make my own calls? Can I buy the components separate from you?
Oh yeah. We sell all these components. The call you got in your hand would consist of a tone board, a reed, a locking wedge, the O-ring, which we've discussed, in a barrel. A call maker can come to us and he can buy either our stock components, which these are all stock components, or we will work with call makers to design and build their own lines.
So if a guy has some idea on a call he wants to make, you'll work with them and use your design skills to develop his own look and feel.
Yeah, they can be a crossover with one of our tone boards with one of their barrels, or it can be a totally new start from scratch.
That's great. If a guy That's part of fun of coyote hunting. For a lot of people, they like to make their own calls and then go out there and set and use their own call to call the coyotes in. And that's a great thrill.
Nothing.
Ali, just looking at your calls here, I know you go through a lot of work to make a call, but what might be the difference between this type of call, the material that you use, and the type that you see most of the time, which is what, a plastic injection molded call? I notice there's no, you don't have any seams or anything in here. So what's the difference between the two?
Okay. Most of the calls you buy are plastic injection molded calls. The type of plastic they use, and that's a lot more brittle than what we use. With plastic injection molding, they're going to be squirting plastic into a mold, so the least amount of plastic they can use, the cheaper the call is going to be. But you also get a cheaper product. We machine ours from acetron, which is an acetal copolymer. It comes from bar stock. This call starts in long bar plastic. Acetal is it's similar to Delrin. That's what most people know, except acetron's a higher quality plastic. So when we set out to do these, we're starting with solid bar plastic and we're removing the material. So it doesn't matter to us if we've got a tiny little bit of plastic left or a whole bunch. We are able to go with smaller air channels, for instance, to use less air, control our configurations a lot better. We don't have the lines, the back cosmetics to it.
I know I've had a molded call and I dropped it and stepped on it, and that was the end of that call. I don't really think you could ever do that.
No, you could take this YDV2 and drive over with a truck, and it's still going to work. You may damage your reed, but the call body itself, you pretty much cannot break these things. I suppose if someone was to really try, they probably could, but they'd have to.
It's not going to happen by accident. That's for sure.
And the feel of them, the sound of them, it's got different sound properties than the ABS plastics.
The thing that I really notice the most is it takes very little air to make a good sound.
And that's what we set out to do. You can't do this with many production calls. Hands free, not putting any air. I could sit there and do that all day and talk while I was doing it. So.
Okay. Well, just one more thing before we close here. I know you deer hunt, you turkey hunt, but why? What's the best part of coyote hunting for you?
I don't know. When I got into coyote hunting, like you said, I was big time deer hunting. That was my thing. But once I called in and killed my first coyote, I could have cared less about deer hunting for years. The only reason I probably even do it now is, it's filler in between coyote season. Because when I'm during deer season, you call in a lot of deer hunters if you're out calling for coyotes. So.
I know here in Michigan we have a coyote season, which is April 15th through March 15th, and then the summertime. And my idea of summer now is just 3 months of bad coyote hunting. So
that's pretty much what deer season is too.
Thanks. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with us and educate us on your calls and the differences and the different sounds. And I think you're doing a great job, and I look forward to using your calls. I've used Lee's calls now for probably 4 years, and I just they're my go-to calls, and I'll never leave the house without them. So that's it for the day. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll go shoot some coyotes.
Thanks, Doug.